Hey guys, welcome back to another wonderful video. So in today's video, you'll see me install my very first handmade frontal unit. So this is the unit here. You'll see it cut into an asymmetrical bob and colored. And just a few prepping steps before the install. I put my hair in a few straight back braids, oiled my scalp, and used a light wig cap just to make it easier to match my skin tone. So I'm going to spray freeze blast spray onto my hairline and blow dry it until it is dry. After that, I will cut off any excess cap. So you want to make sure that you leave about half an inch cap left in front of your hairline when cutting. And then to cut around the ear, make a slit above the ear, then carve around it. After that, you want to concentrate the freeze blast spray on the edge just to make sure it doesn't roll up. Once you've applied more freeze blast spray, you can go ahead and blow dry it. And you do see me using the tip of my comb just to make sure that while I'm blow drying it, it is adhering to my skin and not starting to roll back up, because it will since the cap is stretched out and wet. So now you'll be seeing me use my Pinky Rose contouring kit. And I will be using the concealer that's as close to my skin shade as possible. And when determining how far back to go with the concealer, I usually know that frontals are always 4 inches deep usually. So just to make sure you get that complete scalp look, I always go from the front of the hairline to about the half point of my head. Open up. Open up. Now I'm going to go in with some alcohol on a Q-tip just for accuracy. And I'm going to just clean off any leftover oils and product to prep it for the glue. And then I will go back to the concealer that I used to coat my cap, just to coat the inside of my lace, so that way my lace matches my scalp, which will make the scalp look consistent. Now it's time to go in with the glue, which I'll apply the first layer to the line in which my cap ends and my skin begins. Now I'm going to dip the tool that I'm going to use to spread the glue out in some alcohol, and that just will make sure that there is no leftover oils or products on it, because any of that can affect how the glue adheres or how long it lasts. And I'm just going to spread the glue into a thin layer. And once I'm done doing that, I am going to blow dry it until it runs clear before adding a second coat. I'm going to apply the second coat again to the line where the cap ends and my skin begins. And when I finish applying that, I am going to take my tool and spread the glue backwards, so that way I get glue about 1 centimeter inside the hairline as well, just for extra security. And once I'm done doing that, I will then follow that with a blow dryer. And I will blow dry this one about halfway, just to make sure it is still tacky, so when it's time to put the lace down, it has something to adhere to. So now it is time to lay down the unit. I will start in the center front, and then I will move on to the temples just to make sure that it is lining where I want it to go. Then I will press that in a little bit just to make sure that it is starting that adhering process. Then I'll follow down to the sides just to make sure those are laying where I want them to lay. Then I'll blow dry just to make sure that it is in place before I start to cut. So I'm just going to go in and cut any excess cap and or lace, just to make sure that the unit lays naturally with the curvature of my head. And then I'm going to just go back through with the blow dryer just to make sure that that glue is getting some heat. I'm gonna go in through the parts. I'm gonna make sure I get that centimeter in. I want to make sure this is secure. Now I'm going to use my eyebrow razor, and I am going to cut the lace. And I use this razor because it allows me to get that jagged cut that will really allow the unit to look the most natural. This is actually the first time that I've used the eyebrow razor to cut my lace. I usually use scissors, and I do that up-down cutting motion. And like this time with this, you can see that I had to go back and cut more because I didn't cut close enough. So I left a lot of extra lace. But once you get in the groove of it, you'll realize that this is definitely a shortcut to achieving that jagged look. Now I'm going to go in with the Got2be Glued gel in the black container, and I'm going to pair that with the Got2be Glued Freeze Blast Spray. And I already pre-cut baby hair when I made the unit, so I'm going to apply this mixture to that baby hair. This will allow the unit to look melted and natural. So I realized while I was swooping the baby hairs for this side that the pre-cut baby hairs were way too thin. So again, this was my first time making a frontal unit, so I wasn't expecting that to happen. So I'm just going to go in and section off thicker pieces to make the baby hairs, and then I'm going to go in and cut them. Like so. And then I am going to go back in with that Got2be Glued gel and Freeze Blast mixture to go ahead and swoop those edges. I am going to use my argan oil setting foam, and I chose the argan oil setting foam because it is one of the foams that don't have alcohol, and alcohol is one of the reversing agents of the glue. So I am going to wrap that down and allow that to set while I'm sewing the unit in place. So I'm just about done sewing the unit in place. I did pre-style the unit before we installed, so once I'm done stitching, we are completely done. But I did take the liberty to take a moment to do my makeup for the final results. And I will say it's definitely not easy to make a platinum unit melt to your skin, but I am very proud of how well this turned out and how natural it really looks. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. If you liked the material you saw, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.